Okay, we'll call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation following. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear God, please bless our elected officials, grant them the wisdom to know and the courage to do what is right for all citizens. Amen.
Amen.
Roll call, please.
Allen, Green,
Here.
LaFour,
Here.
Mistrovich,
Here.
Rindell, Ricks,
Here.
Warren.
Here.
Motion to excuse Councilors Allen and Rindell for being out of town would be in order.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Approval of minutes for the regular meeting of February 18th would be in order.
I'll make that motion.
Support.
What's been made and supported, is there any discussion? Being not, all in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Is there a motion for the consent agenda?
I'll make that motion.
Support. What's been made and supported, there's no discussion on the motion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. I'd like to go back. I thought that was wrong, being this is April 1st. The February 18th on the agenda, that should be March 18th. And, John, did you make that motion, I believe?
Yep.
Karen, you have any problem with that?
No.
Reading
Change
March? It was just a typo.
Yep.
Okay. On to, we had approval of minutes. Audience comments on any non-agenda items? Okay, we are going to move on tonight to adoption of agenda. Mr. City Manager, any changes?
No changes.
City Council, any changes? Motion to accept the agenda as presented would be in order.
Support. So moved. I never make this
I
motion.
bet that.
Make a motion to support the agenda.
A motion to accept the agenda as presented. Is that what you wanted to say?
Yes, that's
Thank
what I
you.
wanted to
Is there
say.
support for that?
I'll support.
Very good. Is there any discussion?
It's normally done.
All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Consent agenda? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support.
What's been made and supported, there's no discussion. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. We move on to items for consideration, which we have 5 this evening. The first one is consideration of request to conduct the National Day of Prayer by the Richmond area pastors. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider a request from the Richmond area pastors to recognize Thursday, May 2nd, 2019 as National Day of Prayer. In previous years, the city has recognized National Day of Prayer by allowing the Richmond area pastors to publicly pray in front of City Hall. Also, in the past, the Rotary Club has put on a pizza luncheon in the council chambers. I have not confirmed with the current Rotary president on that, but once I do, I'll put that out on the website and to council. And Pastor Egley is here tonight if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Pastor Egley, would you like to make any comments?
Well, on behalf of the pastors of Richmond, I'd like to thank you for your warmness and consideration for the National Day of Prayer. Because this is a venue that happens all over the country where people come together and they ask God for wisdom concerning the things that are happening. And with Richmond, I'm very proud of you guys because when it comes to this, that you guys show up for. Anybody that's available from the city council shows up for the National Day of Prayer, which says a lot to us that it's on your heart. And so for that, I just wanted to say thank you, and we'll see you May 2nd.
Thank you. Was there any questions? Okay. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to authorize the mayor to sign the proclamation recognizing Thursday, May 2nd, 2019 as the National Day of Prayer. Further, that members of council, other city officials, and the public be invited to publicly pray in front of the city offices from 12:20 p.m. to 12:40 p.m. on this day.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion? We appreciate you again coming forward and organizing this for us, and we appreciate that very much. Any other comments, questions? Nope. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 2 is consideration of special event requests, AYSO banner and sign requests. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider an across-the-road banner and signage request from AYSO. They have a registration event in May and would like to have permission to place an across-the-road banner from May 6th to May 20th in the AYSO Region 448. Regional Commissioner Dan Sutherland also indicated that AYSO would like to have permission to place yard signs at the base of the city limit signs, like we've allowed some other organizations to do. And that's it.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the special event applications from the AYSO Region 448 to have a cross-the-road banner in conjunction with their registration event and yard signs that will be placed at the city limit signs in BB Street Park from May 6, 2019 through May 20th, 2019.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion?
I just have a question with this, that in the past they had the physical sign-up. Is this an online-only sign-up during that duration?
I think they're having, believe it's both, but they will have it at the community center like at the end of these 2 weeks. There's
Okay.
that second weekend, I believe, I think it's Saturday, that they're going to be at the community center. And that's why they wanted it at BB Park 2, is the day that they're having it out there at the community center, they'll put the sign out at BB and the corner of BB and Festival Drive.
On that specific day then? So when the sign is at BB Park, they will be having registration at BB Park? Is that?
I believe so.
Because it seemed like we were approving it for the duration, which is fine, but that's where I'm just confused.
The registration signs at the city limits are approved for the duration. I think
Okay.
their intent was the day that they're having registration at the park to put it out that day.
Okay. And then just clear for
Just
the
kind of
residents to
clear
know.
it so that people know to turn there.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Any other comments?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I know I can add a little bit more to Councilor Green's questions. Yeah, they have kind of a hybrid system as far as registering, where the actual parents have to register online, because the parents then have to fill out some additional forms. Like now in the state of Michigan, there's a new concussion law. So they have to go through and take a quick course in concussion and sign off on that. And then they print out their registration form and bring it on. They're actually having 3 days, but bring it on one of those days and turn it in.
Okay, thank you.
Anything else? Any audience comments? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion passes. Item number 3, consideration of approving resolution number 2019-8, Michigan Department of Transportation Performance Resolution for Governmental Bodies. Mr. City Manager.
MDOT is requesting that the city adopt an updated performance resolution for governmental agencies. The last time the city adopted this resolution was in 2006, and since that time, they've updated their form and are asking communities to re-adopt the resolution.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve resolution number 2019-8, which approves the MDOT performance resolution for governmental agencies.
Support.
Motion made and supported. Any discussion on this one? Business as usual with MDOT?
Yes.
Any comments? Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. Item number 4, consideration of Recreation Board appointments. Mr. City Manager.
Council is scheduled to consider making an appointment to the Recreation Board. The board terms of Susan Keel and Melissa Matrazak expired as of March 31st, To date, Susan Keel has submitted her application expressing her interest in being reappointed to this board. And administration will follow up with Melissa. I'm sure she's interested, just has not gotten her application back.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to reappoint Susan Keel to the Recreation Board for a 2-year term with an expiration date of March 31st, 2021.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Any discussion?
I would like to say something, Mr. Mayor, as I appreciate, because this is the second application that we've received in the last couple months from Susan for her service to and dedication to our boards. We really appreciate, especially her point of view and things is always a blessing to have at these boards.
Very good. Any other comments? Audience? Back to the table? All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye. Aye. Against? Motion does pass. We thank Susan. And the final item for consideration this evening, number 5, consideration of appointing a council liaison to the Recreation Board. Mr. City Manager?
Council is scheduled to consider the appointment of the ex officio member on the Recreation Board. Currently, Mayor Ricks is serving in that role, and the term expired March 31st.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to appoint Mayor Tim Ricks as City Council ex officiato member on the Recreation Board with an expiration date of March 31st, 2020.
Support.
It's been made and supported. Any discussion?
I guess, Mr. Mayor, I guess we should have asked you if you'd still like to serve before we appointed you.
He's gonna have a choice.
Well, it's been a number of years, and I was thinking about slowing down a little bit, but I'd probably go to the meeting anyhow, so, and really, we're normally just there, John and I should say, are there. We try to make sure one of us make it. John more often than I can, especially during the spring, but usually stay fairly quiet unless there's something that comes up that I know the city council doesn't really support, or would have some questions before it got to us. So maybe they can get those questions answered. That's kind of the role, how I see the role. It's a non-voting member, so we're just so that we're there and represented. So I appreciate the support. Any other comments? Any comments from, no? You sure?
I see that they're trying to keep you busy.
Yeah, oh yeah, thanks, thanks, Pastor. Back to the table. All in favor of the motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Against? Motion does pass. Thank you.
What else?
City manager's comments, sir.
Just a couple. I believe it's April 23rd. I've been invited to speak at the Rotary Club, so I'll be attending their meeting. Also, we just today received the 2019 golf cart registration stickers, so we'll be probably tomorrow sending out forms to all the people that registered last year, and then anyone, and kind of doing a news flash on our website for anyone that has a new golf cart this year, that they can come in and pick up the complete registration packet.
Very good. Okay. We made it through the winter. Mostly. Council's comments. Dennis?
Good tonight.
Jamie?
I'm good.
John?
I'm good tonight.
I am also good. Nothing to add.
That's great. I had the honor, I hadn't been able to do it in the last couple of years, but since I retired from my full-time job, I had the ability to go and read to 2 of my grandchildren at the Will Lee last week. What I didn't get was there were banners that said "Welcome Governor" still up in the hallways, and no "Welcome Mayor" in there whatsoever. So I'm not sure which way they were leaning. But I was asked to explain many things from first graders, some that stumped me. The questions were very, very good questions. But one of them was, "What is your job?" And I wasn't sure how to say that to a first grader, and when I have like 20 some of them sitting in front of me and all just looking at you, and I said, well, it's you try to run meetings, and it's a ceremonial position, for the city council, and I thought maybe I was a little over their heads, and because there was no expressions or no, that was good or anything else, and so the teacher a very good teacher, by the way, said, well, Mr. Mayor, when the governor was here, we explained to them the governor's in charge of the state. And when we heard you were coming, we said, well, the mayor's the head of the city council. And they said, well, what is that? And she said, we told them it was a representative body of the community, and they help run the city. I said, okay. So that's probably a better explanation than I could come up with at the time, when I had like 20-some faces looking at me, and I was nervous that I had to read these books and hold them up like this, you know, so you could see the pictures and everything else. I had a blast. I had a blast. Our library, I had called over to our librarian and said, hey, I'm reading to first graders. Could you get me some books, you know, that will get them going? Well, and she got me 4 books, and it was supposed to be under 20 minutes, you know how I am, you know, but so I used 2 of them, and I had one more from my own home that came from my sister-in-law, who was a longtime teacher over there, and it was called The Wonky Donkey. I don't know if anybody's ever read it, but it was hilarious. And every time I turned the page, in big letters it says, hee-haw. And I had the whole group doing the hee-haw, and then by the time I got through, and what it was it was a stinky donkey, so it was a stinky honky donkey, and it would add on to about 10 pages of, you know, different things. About halfway through, those little kids were reading it off with me as I was calling, and it was very small print, so memorization, whatever it was. But anyhow, if you ever get a chance, it was a lot of fun. Like I say, I hadn't been able to do it in a few years. I'd done it for some of my older grandchildren before, but this was a lot of fun, and I appreciated being invited again. So anyhow, we move on to the calendar. Today being April 1st, we have yard waste collection in the entire city, starting now, every Tuesday. And of course, we're on spring break right now at the schools. And the kids will be back to school on the 8th. And the library board will be meeting on the 8th at 7 o'clock at the library. The annual book sale, early bird night, is on Wednesday the 10th from 4 to 7. And then the library book sale itself will be Thursday and Friday from 9 to 4:30 at the library. And then on the 11th, Thursday, the Planning Commission will be meeting here at City Hall at 7 o'clock. And then on Saturday the 13th, we have the library's book sale. It's the bag day. I think you pay a certain price and get as many books that you can stick in a bag. That is from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And also on the 13th is our annual Easter egg scramble at BB Park. And that will be at 10:30 in the morning. And if the weather is really bad, it will still be had. It will be had inside the community center, I believe is what we did the one year, John?
Yes.
Okay. And then 2 weeks from tonight will be the next regular scheduled city council meeting here at City Hall. But the budget workshops will begin on the 15th at 5:30 right here at City Hall. And I believe that is it for now. Was there anything else we needed to add? I think I covered all of these. Yeah.
Mr. Mayor, I
Yes.
could be wrong. Is our budget workshops, are those at 5:30 or 6?
6.
It's written in here as 5:30. I believe you're right, John. I think it's 6 o'clock, wasn't
I
it?
probably wrote it wrong. If
Yeah.
that's my writing, probably.
Yeah, 6 o'clock. That was the 15th.
And the 2 in May, yeah.
Yeah, at 6
Five,
o'clock
six,
for the
and
budget
5:20.
workshop, 7 o'clock for the regular city council meeting, and more than likely we will meet after the regular city council meeting, if need be, to finish that section of the budget workshop. Okay. There is a closed session this evening. We need a motion to go into closed session.
I make a motion to convene into closed session in accordance with Section 8C of the Michigan Open Meetings Act, Public Act 267 of 1976, as amended, for strategy and negotiation sessions connected with the negotiation of a collective bargaining agreement as requested by administration.
Support.
Motion been made and supported. Is there any discussion? Being not, roll call vote.
Green,
Yes.
LaFour,
Yes.
Nastravich,
Yes.
Rindell is absent, Ricks,
Yes.
Warren,
Yes.
and Allen is absent.
Motion passes. We will go into closed session. Take a 5-minute break here before we go.